I'm trying different background. Oh, you can see them?
Yeah.
That was a little too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
Ain't at that level yet. It's still morning. We don't need to be that aggressive. Did you see the Sony thing?
No.
Sony launched their own L2.
Sony.
Yeah.
For what?
Well, I mean, they do have a lot of games. I mean, they do have a whole gaming ecosystem.
They couldn't do it on someone else's thing.
Well, I was thinking about that. The main reason they probably didn't is because they want all the value attributed to them. They don't want to take Sony and all their games and give it to a
I
chain
mean,
because there's no way that that chain can give them enough money
right.
based off of the value that they're providing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
but it should be
Yeah.
interesting.
I was I was on the Twitter Spaces a few days ago at night, and I forgot where the one guy's project was. It's one influencer named Probably Nothing or Leap. He hosts spaces, and so I was on the space, and there was the Monad team, and then it was like another guy, and it was basically a guy going on a rant about how L2s had no purpose. And he was just going off at the Monad guy, and it ended up getting triggered. Like somebody called somebody ass hat. Like
Ass hat. What's up? What's up, Keith? How you doing, man?
Ass hat's good.
yeah, someone called. I mean,
It's softer than asshole.
Huh?
You think that's bad? Wait till your kids start saying random words you don't know what they mean. He came on the other day talking about I had mega aura. What are you talking about?
That's
What is
good,
mega
though.
aura?
Aura?
And I said, so that's big aura? He says, no, mega aura. I'm like, what are y'all are stupid, dude.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. I like this purple. I'm out of my office. I didn't make
Blue.
it.
Don't say purple now.
It's blue. Yeah, it's supposed to be blue.
Carolina blue. Come on now.
You see
Come on now.
the Carolina shirt?
My bad. I mean,
It does look a little lavender.
I think because the background is also lavender, it kind of
thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining today. This is our first live stream, and forgive me, the weather just changed, so I'm a little stuffed. I'm fine though. It's just whenever the weather goes from 95 to 55, it messes me up a little bit. And so yeah, we just start off with like any weekly topics or community things that happened or anything that we want to bring up. I know that what is the name of that blockchain? Dang, that's crazy. They raised 90 story.
Yes.
Raised
Yeah.
Oh brother. Which I feel like is an exuberant amount of money
I
to
just
raise.
don't understand what they tell investors for these raises. Like, are they telling them we're curing cancer? Like, what is the promise being made? I think A16Z led that though, right? Or maybe
What
not.
if fundraising was a way to launder money? Okay, I'm just.
Yeah. What if? Well, what if it was?
What are you doing with all this money? Like, what are you doing with it? We need $80 million to do. Like, I guess if you're a Chat GPT, you need it.
$80 million to copy and paste some code.
Exactly. Change some branding up.
Y'all aware of what happened with a Safe Moon and stuff, right? Did y'all hear about all that?
Like recently?
No, it was last bull run, but they're trying to bring it back. But essentially, the guy paid the guy $2 million to quote unquote do stuff, be a dev, and all he did was copy and paste SHIB code.
Oh my god!
And he didn't get, took the money and didn't give it back. And I was like, "That's not fair." And he was like, "Well, I don't care." Like, anyway, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a tried and true strategy. It seems. It kills me, man. I always tell myself we're making money in too difficult of a way. There's all these easy ways that people are making money.
Yeah, but karma though.
Yeah, well, yeah, eventually. Well, that's another thing that I've started to see is there's a lot of. I've never seen a year where more influencers have been taken down for being found out than this year. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Interestingly enough, last run was when you started to see people fall for Ponzi's, and that didn't happen so much in 2017, 2018 because there wasn't enough tokens just yet. As that got older, we had a bear market and everyone thought it was time to buy because prices were low and you should buy the dip. Well, everything that looked shiny seems like it's worth buying because that's just the rhetoric that everyone was told. Just keep buying, just keep buying. So when you hand someone something that's really shiny and they don't understand the inner workings of a Ponzi scheme and how it works, well, you're first bait. You're first bait because you think it's buy low, sell high, of course. So you try to buy everything, and all these Ponzi's come in. Then you start finding out these influencers are getting paid tokens in the background before they ever talk about it. Then you find out they only talk about the things they get paid to talk about. I could highlight a couple quick ones is like Alex Becker. He gets his stuff shielded so hard on the internet. He only talks about what he's already been paid to talk about. If it's not on his timeline, because he hasn't been paid to do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Same time, people are starting to notice it and people are starting to call it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why in fact, it's interesting you say that because there was a few months ago, we were going to do a partnership with and just some YouTube influencer. And we, obviously try to vet these individuals, make sure they're good partners. And their comments were littered with their own community members saying, this is the next show. Like, they just lost comments. Yeah. And I was like, damn, man, that's bad. Like you got your community members in your video comments saying what you're doing. Yeah.
Look what it did. Look what it did to BitBoy, right? Man went from the biggest one to literally taking money from anyone who would give it to him to present a quote unquote project, turn that into an absolute nightmare of, I've got to take every dollar possible. Then he got every dollar possible and then didn't know what to do with it. Fast money goes just as fast as it comes.
Yeah.
And he didn't prepare for that. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it hit him like a hurricane. Him having an addictive personality, just like me, I fully understand what that's like. So I kind of relate with the dude. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for him because he got put into the position of being the guy everyone was looking at, wasn't prepared for that. And now he wasn't prepared to hit all this money, Lambos, Gucci clothes and shit. He was bust down all the way in Gucci in Vegas. I'm talking about he had $120,000 bust down AP, full top down Gucci suit. I'm like, bro, what is he doing? And he got paid by one project to do all that, which was crazy.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Which was crazy.
So give him
right?
the bag.
Man, I'm saying he got his bag, but then it all come crumbling down, right? Fast money goes just as fast as it comes.
Yeah, I think there's more rhetoric now online about KOLs. I had a rage post, but I can't find it. I was rage posting earlier about it because I think eventually it'll die out, but I'm like, the real issue is that like companies like allow, like it's like when you give a child candy or you give a child too much screen time and then you wonder why they act irate and crazy. And because like as a company, like we're giving KOLs, the children, whatever they want, and they're just taking it because they're children. They don't like, and so what ends up happening is that we have expectations that are misaligned because we're not really dealing with people who are doing business or actual creators. And then, like we're burned at the end. But at the end of the day, they're able to be extractive and get money. Because it was a thread I saw earlier about people just like copy and pasting. And like, at one point we worked with people where we would ask them to do threads and then we would find ourselves heavily editing the threads or them having information in there from like the very first blog post. Like, why would you, like, just the most irrelevant shit. Like, how did you even come up with this? And how am I paying you to edit? You know what I mean? And it's just a very interesting thing to think about and to like demand. So my rage basically was going to say that if you are like a reputable agency and if you are a reputable company, then hold them to the standards that you want to see. Like, and some things are fair, not everything you can be guaranteed, but people aren't even talking about impressions. They're not even talking, they don't even talk about conversions. That's one thing. Not even talking about just the top level of like impressions, or they're not even getting creative. Like I haven't had a KOL approach me and was like, I'm doing a top 10 DeFi protocols overview. Can I include your protocol and whatever, like just general content that's educational. I've never seen that. When I'm approached about sponsoring a campaign, but I'm off my rant now. I can go on.
No, this is great. Keep going. I was going to hit you with something a little extra too, because I used to do HVAC work. That was what I did for 17 years before I figured out that wasn't going to last and my body was going to break down. I had to do something different. So a great topic is McDonald's ice cream machines. What's the joke, right? They're always broke. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the reason that they're always broke is the problem. Well, the reason they're always broke from the guy who used to fix them is they don't do maintenance. What you don't know is every McDonald's is independently owned by a separate franchisee. Usually they have more than one. So they'll buy 7 or 8 McDonald's licenses, open 7 or 8 stores, and have 7 or 8 times the money coming in. Yeah, great, wonderful. I understand. That's perfect. They put them in certain little spots where the local going to get the traffic coming in. I get it. Thing is, McDonald's has proprietary equipment that you have to buy. All right. When you buy this proprietary equipment, it must be maintained a specific way. If you don't pay to maintain it, it breaks over and over. And what nobody knows is the ice cream machine is connected to the freezer, which is connected to the cooler, which is connected to the cool bars where all the food is made. It's all the same system. It's just one piece breaks more because it requires more maintenance. I saw this humongous thread about why the ice cream machines were broken in this big, long conspiracy theory style. Bro, look, I got so triggered. I was like, look, dude, I've had enough. You're full of it. Stop. I used to do this. Here's why it's broken, because they don't take care of it. I show up. It's filthy. No one's touched it. It's covered in pollen, cottonwood seeds, trash, and grease. And you wonder why it don't work? Well, this is why it don't work. Plus, by law, they have to cut it off 4 hours a day to clean it. And they don't even do that. So it's like, man, you don't even know what you're talking about, bro. And he had 255,000 comments.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, man, this pisses me off, dude, because you got all the attention and you don't know what you're talking about. Then turns out he just copy and pasted all that.
Well, it was a YouTube documentary I saw, and the guy was basically saying that there's a company contracted to service the machines also, and then there's like a whole issue, like that's another issue with that, and them servicing it, and people actually figuring out how to service it, but then them getting in trouble or something.
Yep. So
or making adjustments of knowing how to do it on their own.
Just like someone would pay you guys to do something as you're a company and you'd get a contract to do something. Well, they pay a maintenance company to do the same thing. The problem is McDonald's calls you at 3 a.m. and they want you to drive 4.5 hours to come. Bro, you understand it's going to take me 5 hours to get there because it's 3 a.m. I'm not even awake. I got to drive 5 hours just to get there. That means it's broke for 5 hours. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to have to leave to get parts to fix it. When I come back, it's still going to be broken. It's going to take hours for it to start working again. Even if you're a maintenance company, you're SOL, because they'll call you from way off from one side of the state. I've got calls from Tennessee. I'm in upstate South Carolina, dead in the center of South Carolina, just the top. All right. So I get calls from Tennessee, from Raleigh. Bro, I'm not driving to Raleigh. Have you lost your mind? That's like a 6.5 hour drive from here. Have you fell and hit your head?
Ice cream machine.
Or an ice cream machine. No, I'm not doing it. At 3 a.m. No, you lost your mind, bro. I'm not doing it. So it's a whole system that's broken. And people don't know that. So you immediately go to the joke. And then more so it's just to talk about how the clicks went for that, which is super annoying. You know what I mean? It wasn't even real. It was just clickbait stuff.
Well, hold on. Would you brought that up to talk about the KOL stuff, right?
Yeah. So really what he did was, if you follow the thread, blah, 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 blah. Then you get to the last part of the thread and all it does is advertise his website, which wants you to go over there and see all the other stuff that he's copy and pasted, but that generated ad revenue for him because he had ads on that page.
Yeah.
So really he copy and pasted someone else's stuff, took ad revenue from companies who had posted their ad on his website, and then his website got a whole bunch of hits in the same process, which there in turn gets pushed by Google because now you've got a bunch of random hits. So Google moves it up in the algorithm farther, and we have this whole cycle of BS chopping over and over and over. And it was just copy and pasted. He didn't even really do the work. Yeah. That's the worst part.
That is the worst part. It's like, damn. Especially for someone who actually did it. Well, I mean, speaking of KOLs, this is a perfect transition. Robbie is building an army of generals, and I want to give you the stage to talk about it, share the screen, talk through it. I think this is a very funny transition.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, and this is just everyone out there speaking to you. So Umoja's, developing a KOL advisory board, and I don't even really like to call it a KOL advisory board. It's really a community leader advisory board. With the sole purpose of democratizing WAGMI, making it real, just because we all know that it's pretty much been BS for quite a while now. I think maybe even forever. And just get communities to understand that you can, use the protocol to, have access to wealth creating tools, right? Lower your risk. You don't have to, put all your money into meme coins, all these, superfluous things. You can, put them into things like smart coins, have principal protection, generate yield, and also more generally, have a lot of earning opportunities within our community. So we're building an ambassador program. There are a lot of growth competitions, meme competitions, all types of competitions on a weekly basis, because the protocol, it doesn't work. It can't scale without a strong community and without a coordinated community. And so for this advisory board, really these are our generals. We literally call them Umojans generals. And really, our request to them is help bring your community members into the fold. Let's find ways for them to get engaged, and fight for a common purpose. And again, our vision is democratizing wealth creating tools for everyone. So the same tools that hedge funds have, you also have at your disposal, so that you can hopefully minimize your losses, maximize your gains in a way that is not only compliant, but also, predictable as well. So if you're interested, particularly if you're from Nigeria, Indonesia, India, Vietnam, those communities have engaged with Umoja the most, but of course it's not just exclusive to them. Anyone in the world who, believes in that vision, certainly reach out. You can DM myself, you can DM Karima, and I'll give you the whole manifesto. We have a manifesto for this, and we can get to it. But yeah, just a little pitch to all those community leaders who are doing right by their communities, and have things that can actually help them out. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. I think your video had froze, so I tried to. Boom, you're good. I took you down stage and brought you back up because you were frozen a little bit.
Good, you good.
I do want to say that I forgot to announce, but 3 people who make a comment, ask a question, blow up the comments. We're giving away $10 to 3 different people, just as a thank you. We'll buy you coffee. I don't know. Hopefully, they can get you coffee and a muffin. But just drop a comment, ask a question, and stay engaged. And at the end, we'll announce the 3 people. I just checked. We're streaming to Twitter, which is great. So now I got to figure out how to get a stream of Discord at the same time. Just doable, but it takes Zapier to make it happen. But we're on YouTube and Twitter right now, so it's pretty cool. I think this is the next topic. So Keith, I felt so weird saying Keith, South Carolina in front of me. But no, so I really wanted us to be on the screen because like when you were explaining the stuff on the last call, it was hard to follow along, especially for someone like I know what candlesticks are in the wicks.
Perfect.
That's probably it in the time frame.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? So like when you were talking about walking it through, I was like, yeah, we got to get on screen.
Perfect.
And hopefully someone else will benefit from it too. I know I have a TradingView account. I can open it up, but if you can open up your TradingView and kind of like just show us how you read the chart, that would be helpful.
All right. Hang on a second. Let me get her pulled up here. Tell me if you can see that.
Yes.
Perfect. Sweet. So, the number one thing to think about here is this is not that hard, and I don't want everyone to overcomplicate it. Just like men, we are very simple. Charts are very simple. We do not have to make them more complicated than they are. Right? It's really, really, really simple when you get down to it. By the way, Jerome Powell's talking right now, and the charts are getting a little wonky, and I'm watching over here.
Crazy. They're getting. I was about to say that I can actually give you a very quick summary before you get into it.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Exactly what he has said. So let me back up right here. So the highlights. The time has come for Fed policy to adjust. So Fed will do everything to support a strong labor market. Fed does not welcome further weakening of the labor market. Confidence has grown that inflation is heading to 2%. Balance of risks to Fed mandates has changed. Inflation has declined significantly toward the goal.
Wow.
So effectively, the Fed pivot is officially
100%.
Yeah.
They're going to cut rates. What does that mean, everybody? When you cut rates, you put more money into the market. When you put more money in the market, hey, everybody, what do you do with money? You spend it. When you spend money, what happens to the cost of goods? It goes up. What happens to the cost of commodities, equities, stocks, Forex, and crypto? It goes up.
Wow.
So smile, everybody. You're about to make money. All right. Now, the kicker is, how do you make the most money and how do you not lose it? Which is the biggest thing to do with technical analysis. More so than making money, it's keeping the money that you made. The biggest piece of all of this is risk management. All technical analysis is risk management. How big of a risk do I want to take? How big of a bite do I want to get of this sandwich? And can I handle it if I do it? We teach our kids this very young. We say, hey, man, don't bite too big of a bite because you're going to choke. All right. Take a small bite. And then you maybe can do a little bit bigger bite if you practice, right? So same thing here with charts. You said you know what a candle and a candlestick is. Great. I'm going to break down a couple pieces first so that you have the context. I'm on a monthly time frame. Why is that important? Because the high time frame runs the show. You might get thinking, oh, look, he's talking and this is super important. And don't get me wrong, it is. But this is just for one day he's talking. He's only going to talk, for a matter of fact, about 15, 20 minutes, and then he's out. All right. What about the rest of the time? The big picture is so important. It trumps all those other moves. It'll make all the other moves look unimportant. So I'm on a monthly time frame, which is up here. Time frames are in the little drop down. Obviously, you can pick a lot of them. I have 3 that are important: daily, weekly, monthly. They're right there: daily, weekly, monthly. It's all I really care about. All right, we can go down farther. Not necessary. Not necessary. The normal person. This is for the normal person. What I'm talking about here. Okay, so really, you can spend 5 to 15 minutes a day on this, and that's all you need to spend. The more you get into it, the more time you're going to spend. So be careful, right? If you don't want to take it too far, don't. That's my best advice. I don't expect anyone to be a pro trader. I think that's stupid. Most people don't have the time, energy, or effort to give to that. And I understand that. But I do want you to take better care of your money, because when you make it, it's important not to lose it. Don't be BitBoy. Don't make a bunch and then blow the bag. All right. Fumbling the bag is one of the worst things you can do in crypto, because you're going to make a ton of money. I watched so many people make a bunch and then lose every bit of it. All right. Can't have that happen again. I can't watch that again. Okay. So first, I'm on a monthly. Next, chart setup. I'm in logarithmic mode, which is down here in the bottom right-hand corner. If you don't have this on your screen, this is what linear mode looks like. I want you to notice what happens from 2015 to 2017. It's almost abysmally impossible to read. When I put it in log mode, it pops back up and I can kind of move it around again. I get a better view of what's going on. In linear mode, everything's perfectly symmetrical on the price over here on the right. And that's great, but the candles don't respect that a lot of times in crypto because they're parabolic. They move very rapidly and we can't fit all the data on the screen. So we have logarithmic mode for that, which helps us fit all the data on the screen without changing the size of the candles. We never, ever want to affect the candles. The candles are our data. Without data, we have no answers. Quick understanding of why data is important. You might not realize it, but you do TA every time you walk outside your house. By that, I mean technical analysis. You get in your car and you start driving. As you approach a green light, what do? You look at the light and you go, oh yeah, I'm far enough away. I can make it through this light. I don't need to stop. You made a quick technical analysis decision just that fast that you're going to make it through that light without having to stop. There's no cars coming. It's probably safe. It took 1 second for you to do that. All right. A light's yellow. Ooh, I got to make a quick snap decision. Do I floor it? Do I slow down? Are the cars coming? Is this a safe intersection? Is it busy? All of a sudden you have more data points. That's that confluence I was talking to Robbie about. Now I'm looking for more evidence to see if it's safe or not. You see a red light, instantly you know to stop. Now you might be an idiot and try to push it, and that's called being a degen. All right. That's how we can relate what we're doing in the real world to charts. I'm in log mode. I'm on monthly. This is XRP. I use this chart all the time because this is one of the older charts in crypto and it's very technically sound. Ignore, please, this stupid wick. It's not real, nor is this one. Poloniex is notorious for this. I just don't want to use the other ones that I have because I've got drawings all over them. All right. But aside from those 2 wicks, everything else is pretty fair. A candlestick is made of 2 pieces. This is important. The body and the wick. The body is the most important part because that's the opening and the closing of that time period. always we want to see up, don't we all? So we want to see higher closes than opens. Opens at $1, closes at $2, we made 100%. The wick is everything in between. Where the month started, where the month went to, where the month thought about it, where the month ended is the whole candle. But those wicks are wicks are everything in between, all the seconds within the hour. All right. It's important to use both, but the main thing we're going to stick with is bodies of candles. And that's going to help us find a trend. In case you didn't know it, the number one thing to do when you're buying and selling anything, I don't care whether it's Tesla, oranges, a house, or crypto, is to find the trend. Did you know realtors will tell you not to sell a house at a certain time of year? Because the trend says that's a bad idea and you're not going to make as much money. Always sell a house in the spring or the summer. Why? Because that's when people look to buy. It's pretty weather. They go out and shop more and they spend more money. They go on vacations. They go looking at stuff. They might see a house for sale while they're visiting other people. Doesn't happen so much in the winter or fall. We do TA all the time, everybody. We just don't even think about it. Okay. So I'm on the monthly XRP. I want to find a trend. Trends are made up of a couple things. It's very simple. We only have 2 trends. If anyone tells you anything different, they're lying to you. It's either an uptrend or a downtrend, and there's no in between. You could argue that we have crabbish, which is sideways. I would understand that, but since I'm not making any money, I count that as a downtrend. If I'm not making money, I'm not getting paid. All right. So how do we find a trend? Well, I'm going to draw on the chart here with a couple call out boxes. They're on the left right here of Trading View. You have text, anchored text. Like these call out boxes just kind of snap on your face and you can see them real good. For an uptrend, I need 2 things. I need higher highs and higher lows. So I'm going to draw that. Higher highs. I'm going to misspell stuff, but you'll remember it. Higher highs and higher lows. That equals uptrend. Say what?
I laughed at you say I'm going to misspell stuff, but you'll remember it.
Absolutely. You don't remember if people write perfectly, do you? But if you find a misspelling, you go, oh, he can't even spell. So you remember, right? So higher highs and higher lows are an uptrend. I'm on a monthly chart right now, and I say to start on monthly because it's a little easier to see. The less candles, the easier it is. All right. So where's highs and where's lows? I'm using candle bodies for this, not wicks. All right. That's where we start. Candle bodies. We can clearly see here we had a low, and we can clearly see we had a high here. It's a very new chart at this point, so I don't overthink this. I had a low, I had a high. Perfect. I need higher highs and higher lows. That means up here and up here. I clearly didn't get that. I clearly got something else. That means I probably got a downtrend. What does a downtrend consist of? That's lower highs and lower lows. That equals downtrend. I spelled it right without even look, dude. That was fast too. I can't type, and that was pretty good. So I uptrend or downtrend. By the way, I'm using the little drawing tool over here. It's called brush. This is how I mark up the charts. A few different things I use. Here's the trend line tool. I'm going to use that in a minute too. All right. They're easy to use. Just fool around with the different tools. Spend 10 minutes playing around. So I got a low and a high. I need higher highs and higher lows. If we always, one of the key notes to crypto and charts in general, start on the left and read to the right, just like a book. All right. We never, ever start on the last page of the book and go, damn, that book was busting. No, that's not what we say. We say, oh, I need to start over here because this tells me the story. And if you did do that, people would pick on you and say, oh, you didn't read the book. You just looked at the last page. You didn't read nothing. So anyway, we're going to start left and work right. We have a low, we have a high. Keep going to the right. What do we get? We get a lot of candles right here, and it's a low point, but it's higher than the last low. And let me put that in green so you can see what I'm drawing. It's higher than the last low. So we have a higher low. I can even label those with some text. Right here we had a low. Let's make that bigger. That's tiny. 28. There we go. Right here was a high. Then we have a higher low. Oh, didn't hit the text button. Higher low. Higher low. Cool. Now, for our uptrend, we need a higher high. We didn't get everything we need. We have 3 pieces. We need 4. So for that higher high to happen, we're going to have to likely be way up here. It didn't happen. We ended up with a not good. That's a lower high. As you see, it's not as high as the last high, it's lower than it. That's a lower high. Lower high, not good, no uptrend. Until we get everything we need, we don't have it. We have to keep waiting. All right. So we keep reading to the right. And what do we get? Ugliness. Right here is our lower high. That's not good. And then we went past the last low. Right here was the last low. We're way below it. That's a lower high. A lower low. Let me change that.
Can I ask what time frame this is?
This is monthly.
Monthly.
Right up here, yeah. You see the little M's highlighted right there?
Got you.
And this is all the way back at the beginning history of TradingView.
Oh, shit.
That was
for XRP. 2015.
Oh, yep. It's important because this is what you notice is these cycles of the markets keep happening over and over again, and you can kind of key in on them and find out exactly when they're going to do what they're going to do, which I kind of explained to Robbie a few days ago, and he started to kind of expand on it himself. So lower high, lower low, that is a 100% downtrend. We do not buy downtrends, everybody. We only buy uptrends. Why would you buy something that's going to lose value? Why? Because you like it. That's why. Why would you buy a car that you know is going to lose value? Because I really want a G-Wagon. Right? You don't buy it because you know it's going to go up. You buy it because you really want it. Right? We buy things a lot of times because the value will go up. We buy a Rolex because the value is going to go up. We buy a house because the value is going to go up. We don't buy things that we blow money on unless we just like them. And that ain't how we make money in investing. Okay? So moving along, things keep progressing here little by little. We have another high right here, but it's lower than the last one. Guess what? That's another lower high. Not good. It won't work for us. We need higher highs, higher lows. Guess what we get right here? Moving on. Hey, that's a higher low. Excellent. That's half of what I need. A higher low. Now I need a higher high. So I keep reading to the right. And what do I get right here?
A little higher high, right?
Hello, higher high. First one we've ever had. Have we ever had a higher low and a higher high together at the same time? No, we haven't. This is the first time ever. So in the entire history of XRP from 2014 to 2016, there was no point in buying it. You could have just waited in stable coins or sat in cash or had some lunch. There was no point in buying it until we got our uptrend. Once we got our uptrend, higher low, higher high, we can kind of circle it on the chart. There's a little tool right here called circle in the same section as draw. I think I'll draw a circle right here somewhere because I know something's up right here. Higher low, higher high, cool. Now, obviously, hindsight, we see the big move up. I'm going to drop down to weekly because I've analyzed the monthly and I think I have an uptrend. Keynote here, we don't buy monthly charts. You should buy weekly or daily. There's so much slippage on a monthly chart that you're going to miss out a ton of percentage.
What slippage?
You bought way late or bought or sold way early. The slippage in between when you should have bought and when you didn't buy.
Oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right. We can eliminate a lot of that shoulda, coulda, woulda. Gotcha. If we go down to a lower time frame. That's why I say don't go any lower than daily though. Okay. So daily, you can look once or twice a day and you're fine. Monthly, obviously you're not looking once or twice a month. That's a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
We're just using it to analyze the chart. Now that we've gotten where we think an uptrend is, by the way, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles in here, maybe 11 candles. We count that green one over there. 11 candles inside this circle. So we've reduced the entire chart down to 11 months so far. Now I'll drop down to weekly. I'll go back to the same spot. Sometimes in log mode, you have to scroll around. That's part of the game. So we think we have an uptrend. Now we have to confirm it because I don't like to do anything without confirmation, man. I don't like to gamble with my life. If we're going to gamble and go to Vegas, that's cool. You take a couple bucks, don't you? Do you take your entire life savings? No, take a couple bucks. So I don't want to gamble. I need some confirmation here. Now I want to know how am I sure I got a higher low and a higher high? I need to draw a trend line. All right. How do we draw trend lines? We use the candle bodies to assess the trend. We use the wicks to draw trend lines with. This is where the other part of the candle comes in. All right. Since we know all of this was not an uptrend, this was all a downtrend. Guess what? All this is going to be under the trend line. We already know our trend line will be pointing down because it was all a downtrend. So let's try to find a trend line place. I'm going to start with this high because that was a given. I'm going to grab the top wick, start my line here. I'm going to pull this infinity long to the right, And I'm going to try to catch as many wicks as I can along the line. They don't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to get close here, okay? So I'm going to start dragging. Right here was my next lower high, if you remember. That's part of the downtrend. And here's the wick for it. So I'll keep pulling. And if you notice, it's touching the wick right here. I'll keep pulling and pulling. Look, right here even touches. Right here touches. Really close. You see that? We can see clearly that we had a trend break right here inside of our circle. Excellent. So we can tighten this circle up even more to right through here. Now we've eliminated another couple months off the timeline. Cool. We had a trend break. And remember, I told you last time about 80% of the time we get back tests. This is a trend break and a back test. A breakout strategy is one of the most basic trading strategies there is. This is a breakout strategy. You see the trend line, it has broken. And now that it's broken, it's likely to back test. And that's exactly what it did right here. Came down and back tested the trend line, thought about it, and then took off. It's almost always going to do that. I say almost always because it's about 80% of the time. The lower the market cap, the higher the volatility, the less likely it'll back test as much. The bigger the market cap, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the big boys, they're going to do this. That's all there is to it. All right. So, and then again, that's still about 90% of the time, not 100%. Whole thing I'm doing is reducing risk. I've moved this chart all the way down to a year now. Sweet. So where do I buy and where do I sell this? Well, it's weekly and I don't really want to do it here. So I'm going to drop down to the daily. Now scroll to the same spot. All right, cool. We could have bought the trend break right here. I'm going to move this circle. You know what? I won't remove it. I'll just make it lighter. Anytime you draw something, you get a little box that pops up. You can make it lighter. And you just click on the different shades to make it lighter. So I really lightened it up right there. Yeah. This was one candle that shot up right here. That's almost impossible to catch. Whenever I see that happen, I tend to not buy. Why? Because you're chasing. Because look what happened right after. It came right back down. Whenever I see green candles shoot up like that, I tend to back away. That was just one big green candle, which is very difficult to catch. So whenever I see that, I tend to wait for some red after because it's almost always going to happen. All right. Anyway, here's where our first indicators come in. We can try to buy this perfectly, and we could, by the way. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step farther first. If you look here, we have another downtrend, don't we? You could just visually see the downtrend. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it here. I've got a big downtrend that we broke, and now I have a little downtrend, and it managed to break right over here, huh? So when do we buy this? Got a double breakout. How do we do? First indicator time. All right. This is the 821 EMA. 821 EMA stands for 8 exponential moving average, 21 exponential moving average. What does that mean? It means instead of a regular moving average, it's like one day the price was $1, the next day the price was $2. The average price is $1.50. Right? That's a 2 moving average. This is an 8 exponential moving average. It gives it a little bit more smoothness, and instead of only going on closes, it counts the opening a little bit. All right, so it gives a little bit different of an algorithm, a little bit different of a vibe. Works pretty good. There are a couple rules to this technique. The 8 EMA is green. The 21 EMA is purple. People ask me why the colors are like that. Well, it's really simple. Green is for money, for buying. And purple was my ex-wife's favorite color. And I just don't like that shit. So whenever it does the opposite, I'll sell. I can't stand the color purple. So I'll move away from it anytime I can. And that's just being real. And I say that because I want y'all to know that I want you to make the system work for you. This is what works for me. You might like yellow and orange. I don't know, whatever. So make it for you and make it work. This is the colors that I use. So if you're watching me, you'll see this. All right.
I have a question.
Sure, shoot. Please.
The purple is represented. I firstly feel attacked. Anyway, the purple, what does it represent? To sell or?
Well, we're about to say. So
okay.
The main thing is the numbers: 8 EMA green, 21 EMA purple, 8 and 21. Okay. All right. So they're both EMAs. Essentially, there are 2 rules of this strategy. All right. Good and then confirmation. Bad and then confirmation. All right. First rule: I want 2 candles closed over the 8 EMA, which is the green line. 2 candles in a row, back to back. I don't care what color, but I want 2 in a row. All right. If we watch this, we are under We had one, we're under. Then it shoots this green candle up right here. You see that? And closed. Bam. That's one. The next candle was way up here. That's number 2. It closed. Bam. Good. Still under the trend line though. You see that? No breakout yet. So we could go ahead and buy right here. 2 candles above the 8 EMA closed in a row. That's our first okay, good signal. Make sense? All right, now we need confirmation. Our confirmation comes from when the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA cross each other. You see that? I hid the candles here, and this is just the lines. So when they cross, not only do I have 2 candles over, but I have a cross where the green is now above the purple, and that's my confirmation. That's my early confirmation. All right? This strategy really only works in an uptrend. Don't try to do it during a bear market. We need to know that we got some heat coming for this to work good. Right? So we know right now, as we're sitting here, we have this coming, by the way. This is about to happen again, and I'll show you in a couple seconds. Whenever we get an 821 cross, bueno. I'm 2 candles over the 8 EMA now. I get a cross. The same thing works for when it's time to get out, when it's time to sell. If I get 2 candles in a row under the purple line, that means it's time to sell. If I get a downward cross where it's 8 under the 21 EMA, like I got right here, that means it's time to walk away. You can split it up 50-50 if you'd like. You can split it up 25-75 if you'd like, but there's 2 points to each way. 2 candles over the 8 EMA, the green line, that's our first signal. Cross upward, that's our second signal. Go. Just the same way in the other direction, 2 candles under the 21 EMA, the purple line, that's our first signal to stop. Second signal is when we get a downward cross. All right. Very simple strategy. This strategy has been used for decades. I didn't learn this and magically find it and then start teaching. Nah, bro. This was taught to me by someone else. They didn't use it exactly the same way I did. I kind of adopted it for crypto. They're using it for stocks. But same thing kind of works, okay? The beauty in this is back testing it because we've already done this. Do you see on the screen right now where we have a sell signal where we have 2 candles in a row closed under the 8 EMA and then a downward cross? Because we have a buy signal and we have a confirmation. Do we have anywhere on here we have 2 candles under the 21, the purple line, in a row, not wicks, candle bodies? Do we have 2 in a row? Plus, do we have a downward cross? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
We have 1, but 1 ain't good enough. Since we have confirmation and we only got 1 little maybe signal, not even a real signal, we're ready to leave this alone. We reduce this circle all the way down to a few days. As a matter of fact, basically a week and a half. We changed 3.5 years to a week and a half. A week and a half was all we had to look at. That was the most important time to buy XRP in the history of XRP, for a week and a half. Go tell anyone on the internet that and see what happens. They will start to try to fight you. No, you should hodl because we're all going to be billionaires, right? Not true. Once we have our buy signal, we found what we need. Not only that, we also got a break of the trend line. How about that? So not only did we get our 821 cross, we got a break of the trend line. Holler at me when you see a sell signal. Because look what this thing does. Is this a sell signal? We need 2 closes under that purple line. Do we get 2? Nope. Or do we just have 1? Just 1, right?
Yeah.
Much ado about nothing. That's Shakespeare for y'all kids who don't know. We keep going. And keep going. And keep going. Perfect. We get all the way up here and finally, we get our first little weakness. 1 candle, actually, 1 candle closes under right here. Uh-oh, but the very next candle's right back over. And now, if you notice, we're in between the 8 and the 21 EMA. The price is in between. I call this the wait a minute zone. What should you do? You should just wait a minute and watch it. Why do I say that? When I was a kid, I used to have a black and white TV that I watched in my bedroom, and I used to get WGN, and it showed Martin. And Shanae lived across the hall from Martin, and she used to say, wait a minute, all the time, right? That was her number 1 catchphrase, right? Oh, no, you didn't, and wait a minute. So when it's in the wait a minute zone, we just wait. That's the first thing that popped in my head when I learned this was Shanae. It's stupid, I know, but that's the first thing I remember. So wait a minute. Then the magic happens. We get our first close under the 21 EMA and our second close under the 21 EMA. This is where Keith says, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I am done. I'll walk away with most of my money. How much? Well, that's up to me. In this case, I'd probably sell it all. And I'll show you why. The average crypto investor, if you ask, initial buys are between $500 and $1,000. I know that sounds wild, but that's about the average. Let's say we bought $1,000 worth down here and we had our buy signal. How much money do y'all think we made, by the way?
Oh, don't get me to lying.
So right here's where we bought. I'll make that line green. I usually do that for buys and I make reds for sales. So we bought down here. We didn't have a sell signal until we went all the way up there, right? So we'll zoom in a bit here to our sell signal. Just all the way up here. You made 3,422%. 3,422 times 1,000 is $34,220.
Wow.
You turned 1,000 into 34,220 with very basic technical analysis. You timed that out to a week and a half of time to buy. You bought, you then sold. Here's the big kicker, everyone. You just turned 1,000 into 34,000. What do you think you should do?
Put it in a stable coin.
Take your profits. Congratulations. It's up to you on how much profits you want to take. I'm not going to be your boss and tell you what to do with your money. The hell with me. All right. But I will tell you, if you don't take your profits, I'll take your profits for you. This can all go wrong. Okay.
So when this is okay, so what the time frames that we looked at, we started from a few years, then we went to months, and then we went down to weeks.
And then days.
And then days. And so the days that we're looking at when we're talking about a buy and sell signal, this is still historical, right? So if I was looking at it today, then what am I looking for?
Perfect. Let's pull it up. Glad you asked that. It's a perfect segue. Like you did it on purpose.
Oh yeah. We got a little Umoja update after this. But I really want to know.
Perfect. So I'll use Bitstamp here. These are all my buys and sells in the background, these little faint lines, so don't sweat them. But we have essentially the same thing happening right now that happened in 2016, that happened in 2020. All right, we have a big downtrend. I'm gonna pull these fibs off and just draw a trend line. We have a big downtrend. Fibs are more complicated, is why I say that. So we have a big downtrend. We have a weekly 821 EMA up there. And I say to everyone, if you don't want to spend the time to do it on the daily, you can do it on the weekly. It's slower. It makes less money, but it still works. I use the weekly 821 EMA as a little bit of a confirmation. If I got a cross up, I should be looking for a buy. If I have a cross down, I should not be looking for a buy, right? Just like as a simple quick filter. But we're still under the trend line here on XRP. We haven't broken out yet. It looks like we might. Look at these wicks on the bottom of these candles. That's a lot of buy pressure, big buy pressure and not much sell pressure. This is a big ass monthly candle on XRP here. That's very bullish, but yet it hasn't broken. So we break it down. We need to see it break the trend line. It hasn't done so yet. And if you remember back in 2016, when it broke the trend line, it did the same thing and it came back and back tested. Okay. Same thing with the back test. It did the same thing in 2020. It broke the trend and then back tested. I guarantee you that this thing is going to break the trend and then back test. How much of a back test? Well, that's up for debate. We don't know yet. But what I do know is this thing is damn near identical from 2016 to 2020 to now. Now, were the highs the same? No, they weren't. Right. But the lows and the buy points were. From a weekly standpoint, look, 821 cross up, not bad. From a daily standpoint, 821 cross up, not bad. However, we haven't broken trends yet. That's what I'm really, really wanting to see. We don't buy downtrends. Remember what I said that, right? It's risky. You can, if you want, to try to catch the perfect bottom. But honestly, if you're not going to be a pro trader, why are you trying to catch the perfect bottom? Yeah. I would buy the safer buy if I'm learning. You know what I mean? I want to buy the safe thing. I want to do the safe thing.
Yeah.
This is just the first start. Okay. I can tell by the cycle that we're not quite ready. We're getting close. Seeing as how we got a lot of stuff happening in September, it's my opinion that that's going to be the go time between September and December. All right. Anywhere in there, I don't really care what you bought. You're probably going to make money.
You know what's so funny? I feel like you got one here to shield XRP.
Well, this is
I'm just kidding.
you see what I'm saying? It's like when you tell somebody not to buy a Range Rover and they go, why? And you say, it's the worst car on the road. And they say, no, it's not. It's beautiful. And then you ask everyone, they say, actually, it's a piece of junk. Don't buy that. But it looks nice, right? That's exactly what the XRP is to the internet. It looks nice. It's shiny, but it hardly ever works.
Yeah.
It hardly ever works. Yeah. Now, it feels good to have a whole bunch of people patting you on the back telling you that you're smart, but are you? Because honestly, this is only my first ever XRP buy. 2018, September, it was 28 cents. This is only 62 cents 7 years later. Or 6 years later, working on 7.
Wow.
So it's up 200%. Don't get me wrong. That feels good. Okay, Cardano is up 44,000%. Doge up 180,000%, right? You missed so much money.
You
missed so much money. And of course, now they're back on the hype train.
Of course.
And it'll never stop. That's the beauty of it. That's why I tell everyone, man, I know you call me an influencer and everyone else will call me an influencer. Don't listen to me. The hell with me. Watch the chart. If you don't believe me, go look at the chart. I'm just reporting the chart to you. And if you think I'm full of crap, well, that's fine. I actually appreciate that. Go see what you think. If you think I'm lying, explain it to me and we can talk about it. But if it doesn't involve the chart, I have a hard time listening for this reason.
You just like tune out.
Really? It took me time to learn that. Honestly, I used to be I was the guy shilling.
No, I appreciate that. And I think it's important to like be grounded. Like this is not saying easier, but I'd rather do this than like stalk the timeline. Good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, like I really rather just put some time into like just having an understanding than like completely depending on something on the timeline, because that's usually what happens.
Right.
So I want to transition though for our last 10 minutes to just give. Well, I don't know if you need 10 minutes, Robbie, but let me know sometime for Umoja updates. Like, because last week was tokenomics. This week we already talked about the generals, but I'm not sure if you had any other product updates that you wanted to share. Or
So no, really, really quick. And for those watching, I mean, what Keith is going over is essential for you to be able to use synth options successfully. You really shouldn't, and also to Kareem's point, crypto Twitter is always going to purposely mess with your emotions in terms of where you think things are. If you go to crypto Twitter right now and you see, Chairman Powell's, statements very recently, and there's a whole bunch of Bitcoin, but we're going to the moon. It's time. Time is now. Almost as if Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 tomorrow, right? But this type of technical analysis that Keith is providing you all very graciously is important to understand. Okay, what's real, right? What's not what people feel, what's actually real in terms of where things are going, and is there any historical reference point? And using the synthetic options allows you, some leeway in terms of, using more leverage than you otherwise might be able to, giving you more time, for that position to unwind. And of course, obviously, stretching, that position either in the short term or for many, many months beyond now. In terms of, updates, not too much. We will be, so right now, the important dates to note is that YBTC, so yield bearing Bitcoin, first structured digital asset, will be debuting October 1st or roundabouts that time. So we've updated that. Our fees for that will be low. So instead of 15%, it'll be 5%. And there will be a $1 million TVL cap for that. So very, very, very limited. We're trying to reward those who adopt it first. Again, the yield on that is in terms of BTC. It'll be a net 5-10%. And then over the course of October, we'll increase the TVL cap to $10 million. And then over the course of December, we'll increase it, pretty much make it uncapped. But that's effectively the rollout strategy. Because again, guys, we want to make sure that anything that the protocol puts out there is safe, compliant, and battle tested. So, showing some market evidence of it doing well with much, much lower TVL is something that we want to do on purpose. Outside of that, we will have TGE right now scheduled for October 31st, so about a month after YBTC beta comes out. And of doing a whole bunch of community partnership between now and then. That's a primary focus that Kareem and I both have. So again, if you have a community, if you want to expose them to, a protocol that cares about how people do and tries to provide as much education as possible so that they can do better, please reach out to us. Please, offer to become a general, join our ambassador group, and let's do this. So we got a lot of big things happening. That's pretty much it.
I'm not doing that disturbing. I hate when that happens. No, we really do. Thank you. I think that was a great update summary. We do have a lot. I'm really glad that we chose this format. It's really cool. And I like seeing your faces. It's so nice.
You're right. It's more personal.
Yeah.
I gotta get it set up like Keith though, man. Your setup is.
Hey, this took time, my guy.
Have you seen my setup, Robbie?
If you go back and watch my old videos, the ones I sent you, I didn't send you those. The old videos, I was in the laundry room. You could see the washing machine beside me.
Oh, you making it work. Yeah, but you made it work.
It's been a journey, man.
Well, I really appreciate y'all coming on. I'm going to announce the 3 winners for everything. And then also, what else is there? The factory is coming soon. This is like basically our spin on airdrops, farming and incentive rewarding, where you do a lot of similar quests to airdrops, but you're able to earn rewards in real time and not have to wait 1,000 months for arbitrary point system for you not to know what you're getting.
And it's in USDC.
Yeah, you get USDC in real time. Yes. And so like what we're doing now is I'm working on first, everybody that we work with in Umoja and people who have communities, giving them a set of invite codes so that, their communities can get started. People have already contributed to us. They kind of get a head start and then get everybody going. But I'm really excited to see. I just really want a fiery debate about how people should get paid in the Discord. That'll be like my life goal for the month. Other than that, the winners of the giveaway, let me announce them. And the winners of the giveaway, and this is from, we have somebody streaming from Discord. That's great. So we have Airdrop Iggy. He's the one winner. So congratulations. We'll send you the stuff. Flavion.
Hey.
Yeah, right? I don't know why that static in the background I thought was applause.
It was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got better. Here's cheering.
It was.
Okay, yeah. That's like kids. And the third person is Always Gamer. So Always Gamer, if you go on YouTube, head over to our Telegram and hit up our community team, and then we'll send you the reward for joining Random Awards. And we just thank you so much. We'll see you next week. If you have any questions, we're in Discord and Telegram. And that's it. Any last words?
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming through. And guys, again, if you do want to better learn technical analysis or just understand the ins and outs of what Carolina Keith is talking about, definitely check out his Twitter. He has an amazing Discord. I'm personally a part of it. And I'm telling you, he's my sensei, like on these things. And he does a great job. One, he's very patient, but also he does a great job at, breaking these things down. And again, it only behooves you to learn things, especially in the context of money. So I definitely, recommend everybody check it out.
Well, thank you. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. We'll see y'all guys next week.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank y'all.